Hello viewers, welcome to this tutorial. This is Calvin's. Today I want to take you through school inventory uh, software, which is very handy to our schools when it comes to stock taking. So I also want to urge you to subscribe to my channel down there to enable me make more of these videos. Welcome and stay tuned up to the end. So when you look at this dashboard here, you are able to see various buttons. These buttons have got uh, their different uses. When you click on any one of them, it will be able to direct you or link you to a page or a sheet where you'll be doing entry of data relating to that particular inventory. So then on this side here we have a section where you'll be putting in the details of your school. For example, the school name, school codes, postal address, email address, school motto. So those are some of the school details which the software will require you to put in. So you put them in on that particular site. Then you're able to see down here the overall report. So here you'll be able to get the overview or rather the report on all the inventories put together. So it will give you the overall report. So let's start by looking at furniture. So when you click on that, it will link you to this particular sheet where we do entries of data relating to furniture. So you will be entering data uh, depending on what you have purchased on whichever date, so or whichever year. So you just come here and put in the description of your item. So for example, put here cupboard. So there's a list, a drop-down list here you'll be selecting from. But for the purposes of this particular presentation, you are not able to see the drop-down list. But when you have the software in your computer, you'll be able to see the drop-down list very well. So let me select, for example, let me select notice board. Notice board that is meant for, let me say, teachers. So the year 2019 quantity, we have put 3 notice boards. So each notice board will cost, let me say, 4,000. So you can see the system adjusts automatically. So the total cost for the notice boards that we have purchased is 12,000. Then this one is cost rank, which means this amount rank 20, position 20 among the total cost. So you'll be entering data just like that. So you just come down here, for example, because there's some data in this system, so you can see there's some data. So you can also enter, for example, we've bought some chairs. For example, these chairs have been bought for students. For example, we bought them in which year? We bought them in year 2018. And how many did we buy? We bought 50 pieces. 50 pieces. 50 pieces. Sorry, we have 50 pieces. So these 50 pieces, each piece is costing 7,000. So you can see the total has already been calculated automatically, and then it's costing 1, so which means it is the highest amongst all these costs. So that's how you'll be entering data. So after making all those entries, after making data entries, now you will be able to view reports. You'll be able to view reports. So you just come to reports section, then you can view by item description. So you want to view report on, for example, tables. It will give you the report on tables as at the date of this generation of this report. Maybe locker. So locker, we have nothing. Maybe shares. Can see this is how we've done purchases on shares. This one we just entered this particular information So you can see you are able to tell the total amount which has been spent on shares on all those years. So this report will be giving you based on all the years up to the time you are generating this report. So we go back to furniture section and you are able to see another report here, year of purchase. So this one we can now see how much we have spent on purchasing items relating to furniture in particular years. So for example, 2019, you can see when you select 2020. Again, I want to say that you can't see this drop-down list for years, but they're there. For the purposes of this presentation, you are not able to see them. So let me select 2018. You can see this is how we purchased furniture in 2018, and so on. So you can see 2019, and so on. So whichever year you want to view its report, you are able to select here. Then it features will be seen in that particular shell. Then the report will be displayed automatically like that. So you are also able to print this report. So let us go back to furniture again. You can also view reports on gross spending. So gross spending on all the furniture up to the time you are generating this report will be given down there. Then we go back to furniture. So that is all about furniture. We can go to settings. We can go to then now stationery. Stationery again, you can enter data relating to stationery on this page. So just select the description of the item. Maybe it is exercise books. Students are the users for that. Then year 2020, quantity, okay, 100 up there. Then unit cost, maybe costing 90 per piece. So you can see it's adjusting itself again. So that's how you'll be entering data on stationery. Remember, this drop-down list, I've got all kinds of stationery you can find in a school. So just select if it is exercise book, just select. If it is chalk, just select. If it is staples, just select. Any kind of stationery is in that particular drop-down list, which you can see for the purpose of this presentation. Then you can now view reports on stationery. So report by item description. So you can check exercise books or photocopying papers. You can see. You can view exercise book. You see how purchases have happened there. So you can see this is how we have purchased our exercise books. This is the total cost. So you can view any. Just select from the drop-down list. You can see, and so on and so forth. So any stationery you can view its reports. So again, you can view by report by gross spending. So you want to know how much has been spent on stationery. This is the page. You are able to see all the items you bought under stationery, and you can view the total spending down here. You can view the total spending down here. Then when you go back to stationery, there is something very, very important. That is issuance of stationeries, issuance of items under stationery. So this is the form, the official form for stationery issuance. So you are able to make entries, make data entries on issuance of those stationery. So for example, you will be able to select the year here. You want to be able to see the drop-down list. I've said because of the purposes of presentation of this particular tutorial. So you see 2019, you select 2019. The term, because the year is calibrated into terms, so term 1, for example, term 1. Then which month, term 1, it is March of term 1. Then week, it is week 5. You just select from those drop-down lists. Let me say week 8. So exercise books, that is the item. Again, you select from 200 pieces to let's say Mr. Okello, who is the class teacher from 2, for example, then issued by Jane. So you just make entries on issuance on this form. all issuance of stationery you put on this form. Then when you go back to stationery, there is a part here on report for issuance. So you can view status of stationery. So when you look at this one, depending on the issuance, it will be able to tell you the stock which was bought and the stock which has been issued and what is currently remaining. So it will do that for all the stationary items. Then on the right hand side of this page, you are able to see we have a graph. This graph called representation will give you at a glance how the stock is moving. So again, you are able to select from this green drop down. You're able to select from the list. So let me select excess book. Wow. Let me select photocopying papers. Wow. You can see it is just giving the graphs automatically. So chalk. So it means chalk is almost getting over from the store, for example. Let me look at something like whiteout. You can see whiteout, stock in and stock out are the same, which means there's nothing left in the store. So you need to place an order. So you can see when you look at this, again the system is telling you to place an order. So it will give you information depending on what has been left. If everything is over under that particular item, then it will tell you to place an order. Again, you can be able to see the graphical representation on how the stock is moving on any particular item under stationery. Yes. So then we go back to dashboard. So that was stationery. Then implements. Implements can be garden tools, they can be machineries, they can be cutlery. So those are the categories. So under whichever category what you are buying is falling, just choose that one. So garden tools, for example, we bought hose. Let me select uh, garden tools. We bought jembes, and then we bought them in 2020. So you can select again 2020. Then put how many you bought. So we bought 17 jembes. So at what cost per unit? One jembe is costing, for example, 450. Then it means now you've spent 7,650, and that is ranking 6 in amongst this total cost. Then the total amount will be adjusting up here as well. So you'll be making entries relating to equipment or implements on this list. Then you can now view reports after making entries. It will make all those reports. So maybe by category. So let's start with this one, which is garden tools. You can see garden tools, reports on garden tools on all those years up to the time you're making this report will be listed here, will be reflected here. So on machineries, oh, you can see lawnmower, generator, portion mill, shaving machine. So all those reports will be, all those items you have purchased under machinery will be reflected in this particular report. Then you can even select cutlery. You can see cooker, for example, which you bought. Now you can see the report. So that is report based on items. Then you can also view report based on the date of purchase. So you want to know in 2019 how did you buy, or how many of those implements did you buy. You are able to see here. Maybe 2020. Yes, you're able to see. So all those reports can also be printed. So then you can look at gross spending. You can see how much you spend on all those items down there. You're able to see down there. So it will give you all the spendings, the gross spendings on all the stationery or the implements. So Now that is about implements. Let us go to another one. Then ICT tools. Um, ICT tools will fall under categories like they can be for teaching and learning, they can be for security, they can be for entertainment, they can be for under software systems. So let's say we've bought teaching some under teaching and learning, and then we can say we bought some. Let's say we've bought some DVDs, for example. Say we bought that one, we select the year 2020, the year you are not able to see, but you can select from the list. Then how many of them? We bought 10. Maybe unit cost is 3,000 per DVD. Then now the total cost will be reflecting automatically. Then now you are able to see even up here is updating automatically. So that's how you'll be entering data relating to school ICT. Then you can view reports, report by category. So you can view report teaching standard, no, security, that is the report. Teaching, under teaching and learning, you can see that's the report. DVDs we've just entered some minutes ago. And then you are able to see under entertainment, you can see this the report under entertainment. So and so on and so forth. Under software, this is the report on software systems that the school has purchased. So you can see that. So we go back to ICT. So you can also view report by year of purchase. So in 2020, you can see how you did your purchases. In let's say 2019, you're able to see how you did your purchases on ICT tools, and so on. So let's go back to ICT. We view report by gross spending. So this one will give you gross spending. Gross spending. Here you can see down there is the total amount spent on ICT tools. Then that will be all about ICT section. Then there is also laboratory section. Laboratory section. This one we put in all data pertaining to purchases on items in the laboratory. So you just put in the data. So for example, let me say I've bought some chemicals, and then the description here, let me say this chemical, I can call it copper sulfate. Then under which subjects? Under chemistry. Then in which year? I've bought that one in 2020. 2020, you can select, or you can just type. Quantity, I've bought one. Then a unit cost, it costed 550. So that means the total cost will just be 550. You can see up here but updated as well. So you enter data relating to school science laboratory, all items under that here. After that, you will be able to view reports. So we want to view report by apparatus category. So this is how we've purchased apparatus, you can see, and the total amount of purchasing apparatus up here. Then you can also view chemicals. This is how we've purchased chemicals. Remember this one we've just entered a minute ago. Then the total amount here. Then you can view that. Then also materials, things like braces, wires, and so on. You can view the report here. Then also equipment. So equipment is like weighing balance, car engine, TV motherboard, under physics. You can view all those items you bought, equipment, in this report. Then you can also view by subject area. So you select a subject, you view a report. So chemistry, you can see this is how we've spent money on chemistry laboratory items. You can also check biology and see this is how you spent on biology, and so on. Even physics, this is how you spent on physics. And then you can see the total amount up here, and you can print this report. So again, by year of purchase, you want to know how much you spent in 2019, for example. It will give you that data. 2020, it will give you that data, and so on. So that's how you view reports by year. Then the gross spending on laboratory. So this is the report. So down there should be total amount for gross spending, as you can see. So this is the total amount you've spent in laboratory up to the time we are generating this particular report. So that's all about laboratory. Then we have games and sports. So again, games and sports, you're able to see this, the data entry sheet. You'll be entering data. So the category here under games, we have netball, volleyball, football, hockey, rugby, handball, table tennis, lawn tennis, badminton, athletics, cricket, squash, all manner of everything under sports are in this drop-down list. So it will depend on what you have purchased. So when you've purchased something under netball, you select netball as the category. Then we've purchased balls. Then the year 2019, quantity to unit cost. Let me change unit cost to 2,500 for a ball. Then you can see when you press enter, it updates. So now total cost 5,000, and this one also has been updated. So that's how you'll be entering data in this. After data entry, you must go to report. So we want to view report based on each item, so each category. So netball, how have you spent on netball? You can see this is how we've spent on netball, and this is the total amount up to the time we are making this report. You can also view another category, volleyball. You can see. You can view football. You can see. You can view rugby, and so on and so forth. It will give you reports on all those categories of in games or sports. Then we also have by year of purchase. Again, select the year. It will give you how you spent in sports. Select 2018, for example. You can see 2018. This is how you spent in sports. 2019, and so on and so forth. Then you can print. Then you can also check the gross spending. This one will give you gross spending in sports. Then you can print that. So let us go to another section, that is utilities. So under utilities, you can see we have different categories: water, electricity, internet. So it will depend with what you are purchasing or what you are servicing. That is the one you will be selecting here. For example, if you are buying some tanks, then you should put water as the category. Then the item is water tank. Then you bought in 2018, 7 of them, each is 50,000. This one is 350 total cost. So if you change to 70,000, let's change the total cost to the unit cost to 70,000. Press that, you can see updating has occurred here and here. So you will enter data in that manner in this sheet. Then reports on how you spend in electricity, you can see. Then on internet, you can see. So that will give you reports on all those categories of utilities. Then you can also view by year of purchase. So 2020, you can see report there. 2019, you can see reports. So it will give you reports based on any year you want to view. So then now the gross spending here will give you a report for gross spending on utilities. Then now that is utilities. So let's go to settings. We can move to donations. So donations, you simply put in any item which has been donated by this category of donors. Can be politician, can be financial institution, can be government of Kenya, can be church, and so on and so forth. So this drop-down list, you are able to select the donor category. So if you select, for example, government of Kenya, for example, Then we can say they donated books. Then here you select, or you can even type, if it is 2020, just type 2020. Then quantity 200. This one can be textbooks. For example, they donated textbooks. Then it was received by the deputy principal. So this is where you will be entering all data pertaining to donations. So the report on that, you will have this. This one will be giving you the reports on all donations. Then we go back to settings. So that's all about donations. Then you have section for vehicles. So vehicles will have will be making data on issues relating to services of those school vehicles or bus maintenance. So the systems where you do those services are put in this drop-down list, which you are not able to see, but they're there. So you can put, for example, you can change this one to suspension system. If it is to do with brake system, you just select brake system. If it is to do with the fuel system, you just select. So the system under which the service or the purchase you're making relating to the buses or the vehicles, you just select here. So after selecting that, you will come and do you make an entry on that item. So for example, the fuel system, we did fueling on this car this year, 10 liters, 110. Then service cost is that, then the total cost is that one. So brake system, for example, brake system here, we've selected brake system. So what are you doing? We are purchasing brake fluid for this vehicle in this year, and then the unit cost is 300, then the service cost is 150, the total cost is 450. Then suspension system, for example, what did we do? We bought some shock for this vehicle here, and then it was 2019. Then we bought only one unit is 4,000. That is the price per unit. Then the service cost is 300. Then the total cost 4,300, like that. So you simply make entries depending on whichever system on those vehicles you are doing those services on. Then you will be able to see reports. So report on, for example, engine system. So engine system, what did we do? Oil change. Okay, it was this vehicle. This is the amount. This is the total amount we've spent on engine system services. Then suspension system. Okay, this one is the report. You can see shock. There was springs. We purchased those ones for these vehicles, and this is the amount we spent, and this is the total amount. So any system you can view the report. Cooling system, that is cooling system. We bought radiator fluid for this vehicle. That's the amount. So what about electrical system? For example, we did some wiring. We bought some headlamps, and then the music system, and all this, the amount we spent on that. So that's electrical system. So any system on the vehicle, we are able to see the report. Then you can also view report by vehicle registration number. So you want to know how much have you spent on this vehicle. KY615U, so you can see this vehicle we've spent a lot on it. KCA, this vehicle we've only bought headlamps and music system, and this is the amount we've spent. So you are able to see the amount you spend on any vehicle in your institution if there are more than one. So you can see. So again, you can view report by year of purchase. You can say, let me see, not year of purchase, but year of those services. Let me see, 2020. You can see this how you've done purchases or services on those vehicles. Maybe 2019. If you see 2019, you can see how you've done services on those vehicles in that year. and so on and so forth. Then the gross spending, this one will give you a report on gross spending. So this is what you spent on servicing vehicles in your school or institution. So that is all about vehicles. So when you go back to settings, you're able to see the overall spot down here, the overall report down here. When you click on this one, it will give you now the general report on all the inventories. All the inventory will be reflected here. So like furniture, you've spent the whole of 1 million. Stationery, you've spent 615,000. Implements 1 million above. So and so on and so forth. So this one will be the total spendings on your inventory as at the date of this report. So overall spending 5,105,322. So that will give you the overall spots. When you look at the side of that, you're able to see some graph. So this graph will give you overview on your spendings on those areas. Furniture, you can see. So you can simply say that utilities have taken a lot of money. So it is utility which we have spent a lot on utilities. You can see the graph. The bar here is taller than is the tallest of them all, followed by furniture. Then number 3 is implements, and so on. So you can see the section which we have spent or where we have spent a little money, that is laboratory. So laboratory, you can see the shortest of them all. So it means we have spent a little in laboratory. As you can see on this side, laboratory only 34,420. So that one will give you overview of report on all these inventory sections. So all that is all about this software. It's very handy. So maybe you can like this particular video, and I urge you also again to subscribe to my channel down there. Thank you for watching.